At 3:47 a.m., a 60-foot yacht worth $2 million sat peacefully in a Florida marina. By 4:12 a.m., it had vanished. No alarms triggered. No witnesses. No trace. 25 minutes, that's all it takes for professionals to steal your life's investment and disappear into the darkness of international waters. Every single day, boats worth a combined $15 million are stolen worldwide. Most are never recovered. The owners receive insurance payouts, the cases go cold, and everyone moves on. But here's what they don't tell you: these aren't random crimes of opportunity. This is an organized, global criminal enterprise, and it's been operating in the shadows for decades. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the ghost fleet. The numbers are staggering, yet almost nobody talks about them. In the United States alone, over 5,000 boats are reported stolen annually. Globally, that figure explodes to nearly 30,000. The total value? Conservatively estimated at $4 billion per year. But here's where it gets interesting: the official recovery rate hovers around 15%. That means 85% of stolen vessels simply cease to exist in any traceable form. They become ghosts. Now, compare this to car theft. Vehicles have VIN numbers stamped in multiple locations, connected databases, automatic license plate readers, and GPS tracking as standard features. Boats? A single hull identification number, easily removed or altered. No central international database. Minimal port security in most regions. The maritime world operates on a system of trust that was designed centuries ago, and criminals have exploited every weakness. The typical boat theft follows a predictable pattern. Thieves scout marinas for weeks, identifying targets, learning patrol schedules, studying owner habits. They arrive in the dead of night with copied keys or professional lock-picking tools. Within minutes, they've hot-wired the ignition or simply towed the vessel away. By sunrise, that boat could be 50 miles offshore, heading toward international waters where jurisdiction becomes a legal nightmare. But opportunistic theft is just the surface. The real operation goes much deeper. What the authorities don't advertise is that most significant boat thefts aren't committed by local criminals looking for quick cash. They're orchestrated by sophisticated international syndicates with connections spanning multiple continents. The operation works like this. Scouts in wealthy coastal regions identify high-value targets, typically vessels between 40 and 80 feet, old enough to avoid the latest tracking technology but new enough to command premium prices. These scouts are often marina employees, mechanics, or fuel dock workers. People you'd never suspect. Once a target is selected, the information flows through encrypted channels to coordinators who plan the extraction. Specialized theft crews are deployed, professionals who can bypass any alarm system, defeat any lock, and navigate any vessel. These aren't amateurs, they're trained specifically for maritime theft. After the theft, the boat enters what insiders call the pipeline. First stop, a remote location for the transformation. Hull identification numbers are ground off and replaced with forged ones. The vessel is repainted, renamed, and given entirely new documentation. This process, called ringing, can be completed in under 72 hours by experienced crews. The forged documents come from corrupt officials in countries with weak maritime oversight. For a few $1,000s, a stolen yacht receives legitimate-looking registration papers from nations that ask no questions. Panama, Belize, certain Caribbean territories. The list of complicit jurisdictions is well known within the industry but rarely discussed publicly. From there, the vessel either enters the black market directly or is smuggled across oceans. A yacht stolen in Miami might surface 6 months later in the Mediterranean, sporting a new name and flying a different flag. The original owner, meanwhile, has long since collected their insurance check and moved on. And this brings us to an uncomfortable truth about the insurance industry. Marine insurers process billions in theft claims annually. Yet their investigation budgets remain suspiciously modest. Why? Because thorough investigations cost money, create bad publicity, and often reveal uncomfortable connections. It's more profitable to pay claims quickly and raise premiums across the board. The cost gets distributed to all policyholders, the stolen boats remain unfound, and the cycle continues. Some investigators have gone further, alleging that certain insurers have indirect financial relationships with the very networks that fence stolen vessels. These claims are difficult to prove, but the pattern of minimal investigation and rapid payouts speaks for itself. But boat theft isn't just about selling luxury yachts to wealthy buyers who don't ask questions. The stolen vessel pipeline serves a far darker purpose: international smuggling. Drug cartels have discovered that stolen boats are perfect for transporting product. A vessel with forged documents from a non-extradition country, crewed by expendable operators, can move tons of cocaine across the Caribbean without triggering the same alerts that known cartel vessels would. If intercepted, the boat is simply abandoned. The crew claims ignorance. The vessel's true ownership is untraceable. Human trafficking operations use the same network. Stolen fishing boats and small cargo vessels transport people across the Mediterranean, the Gulf of Mexico, and Southeast Asian waters. When these vessels sink or are captured, investigators hit dead ends. The boats don't officially exist. Weapons smuggling follows identical patterns. Stolen vessels move arms to conflict zones, circumventing international sanctions and embargoes. The same forgers who create yacht documentation can produce shipping manifests, cruise certifications, and cargo declarations. Then there's the strangest element of all: owner-assisted theft. Insurance investigators estimate that up to 20% of reported boat thefts are actually fraud. Owners facing financial difficulties arrange for their vessels to be stolen, collect the insurance payout, and the boat resurfaces overseas under new ownership. Everyone profits except the insurance pool, which means every honest boat owner pays higher premiums to subsidize this fraud. The legal framework to combat these crimes is pathetically inadequate. International maritime law was designed for nations, not criminal syndicates. Interpol maintains a stolen vessel database, but participation is voluntary, and many nations simply don't report. Coast guards worldwide are underfunded and overwhelmed. Port authorities in developing nations are easily corrupted. Technology could solve much of this. Mandatory GPS tracking, blockchain-based registration, international hull number databases, the solutions exist. But implementation would require unprecedented cooperation between nations with competing interests. It would expose the complicity of corrupt officials. It would force insurance companies to actually investigate claims. It would cost money and political capital that no one wants to spend. So the ghost fleet grows larger every year, sailing through the gaps in a system designed for a simpler age. The next time you walk through a marina and admire those gleaming vessels, remember that a shadow world exists just beneath the surface. Boats that seem legitimate may have history scrubbed clean. The friendly captain might be delivering his cargo to people you'd never want to meet. The system that governs our oceans was built on trust, and that trust has been weaponized against us. The ghost fleet sails on, invisible to those who choose not to look. But now you know what hides in plain sight. Subscribe to Beyond the System. Because the truth doesn't surface on its own.